And speaking of game changers, the Leafs' current situation has fans buzzing with potential solutions. The spotlight is on a particular captain who has the ability to transform our power play and bring some much-needed stability to our defensive game. As we face a tough stretch, could this be the moment Toronto decides to make a bold move for a proven leader? Keep watching to find out how this could impact our season and what it means for the future of the Maple Leafs. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to stay updated with all the latest news about our team. There's been a lot of chatter lately about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their ongoing struggles on the ice. It seems like every time we look up, there's another game where the boys are only able to muster a single goal. And while that's frustrating, it's becoming clear that the conversation around this team is shifting. We're talking about defense, folks, and one name that keeps popping up is Roman Josi, the captain of the Nashville Predators. Recently, NHL analyst and former executive Pierre Maguire made a compelling case for the Leafs to pursue Josi. He emphasized that acquiring a player of Josi's caliber could address a multitude of issues plaguing the Leafs' defense. Let's be honest. While we've seen some changes this offseason with the likes of Jani Hakanpää, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Chris Tanev coming in, there are still significant gaps in our blue line. Morgan Reilly, our veteran defenseman, has been under scrutiny lately, and rightly so. He's been inconsistent, and it's clear that the entire team is struggling to produce. Just one goal in each of the last 3 games? That's not going to cut it if we're serious about making a playoff run. The cries from fans and analysts alike are growing louder, urging the Leafs to focus not just on bringing in another forward, but rather on solidifying our defensive core. Maguire's words resonate deeply. Roman Josi could be the game changer we desperately need. He's a proven power play quarterback, an elite puck mover, and someone who can handle heavy minutes without flinching. He's been through the battles, including a Stanley Cup final, and there's a certain confidence that comes with that experience. Could you imagine what he would bring to our power play, which, let's face it, has been disconnected lately? Now, I know what you're thinking. The Predators aren't just going to let their captain go easily. The price for Josi would be steep, both in terms of assets and salary. He's currently in the 5th year of an 8-year deal with a cap hit of over $9 million. But if the Leafs are serious about contending for the Cup, this is the type of bold move they need to consider. Let's take a moment and reflect on the implications of acquiring a player like Josi. It's not just about improving the defense. It's about sending a message to the locker room, to the fans, and to the league. We're all in. Imagine the boost in morale that would come with landing a player of his stature. It could reinvigorate the team and the fan base alike. But here's where I'm torn. Is this the right path for the Leafs? Given our current trajectory, I want to believe it is. I want to believe that adding a premier defenseman could be the spark that ignites this team and sets us back on the right track. However, we also have to consider the potential fallout. What would it cost us in terms of roster depth? Are we willing to give up key players or prospects? And let's not forget the emotional roller coaster that comes with trades. As passionate fans, we invest so much in our players, and saying goodbye to a beloved Leaf can be gut-wrenching. So, I turn it to you, the fans. What do you think? Should the Maple Leafs make a play for Roman Josi? Would he be the player to finally put us over the top? I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. The Toronto Maple Leafs are at a crossroads, and the latest buzz suggests that it's time for the organization to shift its focus towards the future, specifically by targeting rising star defenseman Brandt Clarke from the Los Angeles Kings. After a series of disappointing losses and a sudden drought in offensive production, the need for a strategic move has become glaringly apparent. Now, I know many fans are hoping for a trade that boosts our scoring power, but hear me out. The defense is where we need to strengthen if we want to build a sustainable winning team. The Leafs' defense is aging, with our top 4 already over 30 years old. If we want to avoid a potential crisis down the road, acquiring a young talent like Clarke could be the solution we've been looking for. Clarke, who was drafted 8th overall by the Kings in 2021, has been surprisingly sidelined recently, which has raised eyebrows. It's puzzling that such a talented player, who is already leading his team in defensive scoring, is not getting the ice time he deserves. Whether it's a coaching decision or a strategy to ease him into the NHL, It certainly feels like a missed opportunity for the Kings, and maybe a golden opportunity for us. This season, Clark has racked up 3 goals and 21 assists, along with 82 blocked shots, while averaging nearly 3 more minutes of ice time compared to last year. His impressive stats reflect not only his offensive capabilities, but also his commitment to playing a solid two-way game. Imagine the immediate impact he could have on our back end, potentially stepping into the shoes of Morgan Reilly as Reilly's play begins to decline. I mean, who wouldn't want a player like Clark, who could grow into a cornerstone of our defense for years to come? Now, let's talk dollars and cents. Clark is still on his entry-level contract, earning a modest $863,000 this season and next. This is a steal for a player of his caliber and would allow the Leafs to allocate resources elsewhere in our quest for a championship. If we can secure him, he could be the Morgan Reilly 2.0 we've all been hoping for. But with the potential to be even better because he's still developing. But there's a catch. It's not going to be easy. Acquiring a talent like Clark will likely require a significant return. The Kings are not going to give him away. As a passionate Leafs fan, I can't help but wonder if this is the right path. On one hand, the allure of adding a top-tier prospect is enticing. But on the other, what are we willing to part with? Do we dare move valuable assets when we're still in the hunt for a playoff run? Honestly, I'm torn. Every decision made at this juncture could shape the future of our franchise. The stakes are higher than ever. We've seen the Leafs struggle in the playoffs in recent years, and it's clear that changes need to be made if we want to break that curse. But building for the future while competing in the present is a delicate balance. So, I'm turning to you, my fellow Leafs Nation. What do you think? Should we go all in on Brandt Clark, or do we need to prioritize more immediate scoring power? I want to hear your opinions down below. This is the time for us to rally together and share our thoughts. Your insights matter as we navigate through this tumultuous season. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on all things Toronto Maple Leafs. Hit that notification bell to get all the latest updates because trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The future is bright for the Leafs, and together we can support our team as they strive for greatness.